Hi everyone. So I am labeling this our child abuse policy because there's a little bit of policy in here, but it's mostly just information. I was doing a bit of research and found out a lot of information that I didn't know about. So if for some reason you have like just this nudging or feeling like there could be a child being abused, the first step to do would be to talk to them. But be really lighthearted about your questions and stuff, because if they feel like there's a reason to be scared, they're probably not going to share as much. Or if they feel like you are feeling really strongly or coming across overbearing at all, they probably won't share as much. So just lightheartedly talk to them about their home life or their bruises or anything else like that. And then step two, if you don't have enough information to really have a suspicion, but something just didn't sit right with you, please write it down. Write it down in a journal that doesn't have the pages that come in and out, or your iPhone. The reason for that is because a notebook that is with secured pages, it just holds up better in court. And hopefully it would never come to that. But what you write down in your diary could, or for the incidences, it could be really vital information, either for anyone who's trying to help the child and the family, or for any court cases that would come up. And sometimes those could come up like 6 months, a year later, or even later than that. And then the details would be really fuzzy. Whereas if you write that down, that could be really, really good and needed information. So that's if you've got just a feeling, but not enough to go through for a suspicion. If you do suspect child abuse, please tell someone. I have at least one friend that I can recall, and a couple other stories where they've been abused as kids for years sometimes, and the stories of that are horrifying, and it would have been so good if they had been taken out of those situations. So if we suspect something, please let someone know. Protective services, law enforcement, there's toll-free numbers online. You can do it anonymously. Or if you come to Jody, Kate, or I, we would love to help. We'd love to get you information if we don't have it, if we don't know the information already. And just know that when you do come to us suspecting child abuse, if we have reason to suspect or have the information brought to us, we are mandatory reporters, which means that we need to report that within 24 hours, or we could be held liable as well. Now, with mandatory reporting, being in Minnesota, a lot of reportings are coming from schools. It's either mostly law enforcement or schools together take up over 50% of the reporting. And I found out some kind of neat things, that over half of the reporting that's done is due to child neglect, and over half the reporting that is done is under family assessment category, and it doesn't go into investigative. So there's the two categories: family assessment, investigative. And family assessment just goes into getting the families plugged in with some social programs that are going to help walk them through being good parents, taking care of their children in all the ways that they're needed, or are going to come help them in with family relationships, or I don't know all the ins and outs, I'm guessing, in finding a job if they need to, or some other ways. So they're there just to keep the family together, but to make sure that they're a healthy family, that the child's not being either minorly abused or neglected in any way. So 60% approximately of abuse reportings are from neglect. 35% are from a physical abuse, 10% are from sexual abuse, and 1% from mental abuse. And that's over 100 because some cases will have more than one abuse associated to them. So I wanted to let you guys know, because a lot of times when you do report a child abuse or a child neglect, it's not like they're going to go in and snatch the kids out right away. They'll either go in and do a family assessment and help out the family, or if it is investigative, they are going to come in and do a thorough investigation to see if the child needs to be taken out of that environment or taken away from that parent or uncle or aunt or anything like that. Now, sometimes you might hear things from children that will lead to information like this. I know when I was teaching years and years ago, and it was just heartbreaking. A little child just raised her hand, and just in the middle of the lesson, kind of a time, let me know that she found her mom hanging in a closet, and I was just kind of like, okay, sweetie, and and then we switched to the lesson for the other kids, and then and I made sure the children's pastor knew at that time, because I was pretty young, and she knew all about it, and she was able to take care of the kids in every way and stuff. And so these things might come up. So it's so good for you guys to know what to do. You guys are volunteer reporters. It's not mandatory. You won't be held liable, but it's really, really important, because I know of children who have been in cases where they have been through abuse, and it's just horrifying. And there's so much healing that needs to do with their lives, as well as for the abuser. I mean, they cannot stay stuck in just their damaging ways, and that is, they need to find God and they need to have consequences and be forced to deal with what they are doing, and how to get out of that, and how to stop hurting others, and then hopefully just running straight into Jesus's arms. And that's the way that they're going to get free as well. Now, I do know of a case where the child was lying, and the parents and the child had to go through a few months of, it was just hard on the family. It's just court cases and just everything that's involved in that. Now, that could happen, but there are measures taken to make sure that the families, investigations and stuff. So the child wasn't taken straight from the family. They did investigate. They did go through the process, and it was annoying and taxing and everything. But they came out okay and strong as a family. The child was very apologetic, and they're okay. So that's a much better, much better than if there had been a real child abuse going on, and that had been left just to happen for years over the child's life. So the other, where this might come up, is if our families are bringing friends. And so I hope that this would never happen with one of our families, but I know that our kids are bringing their friends to Sunday school and to children's church, and I'm so excited about that. But some of their friends are going to come from different backgrounds. So this could come up. Please come and ask Kate, Jody, or I just questions if you're wondering about the process at all, or if you just want more information in any way, and we would love to help. So thank you guys so much for taking care of our children, for loving on them, for protecting them, and making sure that they are just experiencing God's fullness. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you soon.